you ask yourself a couple of questions. So question number 1 is, what am I trying to do? Do I want to play with a poker bankroll that I never have to reload? I never want to be able to reload. And then question 2 is, do I want to actually move down? Am I prepared to move up and down? So if you're prepared to reload, Sankoisme, thank you very much for the follow, Sanko. Or should I say Sanko for the follow? Huh? It's pretty good. Mr. El Primo. So we played a little bit of El Primo. This is pretty close, but I think we'll go for a call. Again, El Primo will be someone playing lots of tables, and so typically I like to try and in close spots, see, especially in position. But here I don't think there's much we can do. We're going to shove the King 3. Legend, the legend's here. Are you in a pool? I'm in the Team 6 on 1 pool. So, yes, which is nice. But it's not dependent on the 6-1 results. You get your money independently of that, if that makes sense. So if the pool runs really bad, it's not a problem. If the pool runs really good, it doesn't affect it. We had a guy in the $1 million spin. If we're in the pool, I guess that would be quite good for us. Unless that's not included. I don't know how the pools work, but yeah. 666 Rothschild. Party high stakes spins reg would make more than 100% reg back. I don't see why they would run without it. So not quite. It can get close. It depends on the days and depends on the volume they put in and stuff like that. Sometimes you can definitely make more than that. Some days people make 150 or something. But we're just going to jam the King 4. But yeah, I think on average it probably works out for most of the guys about 90% or so. And so you don't need many chips. And there are still the odd recreational in the pool, and so it is possible. I know it sounds strange. How can everyone be profitable in this game? If I make a few chips, they would obviously, let's say they both lose a chip or something, or lose 1.5 chips or whatever, or lose 2 chips. You can pick the numbers you like. But then if they get, for example, every recreational, in those games they're certainly going to win chips. And so it can be you're playing in a full field where everybody's making money in your games, even though that seems quite counterintuitive. Because they're not all making money in that game, but in the grind overall they make money, if that makes sense. So very high rate back obviously makes it a lot more sustainable. And there's probably I don't know if every reg is winning post rate back. It might be a couple of guys are losing, who knows. But yeah. That says when they dry up or scab, it's all over. I just hope she won't be itchy. She's a poor sleeper. Don't need even less sleep in her life. Well, I found with my family members, I normally talk to them about EV, and that sends them all to sleep. So she's itching, she's struggling. You say, you think you've got it tough, love? Guess how below EV I ran? And she'll be like, what, Dad? I'm itchy. And you go, listen. And then you print out your graph, and you go, I'd rather be dealing with itchiness than having this. That'll make you feel better. Or she'll either feel better because she'll realise a lot of variance in life, or she'll be like, Dad, what are you talking about? What is EV? And you go, okay, here's EV. I'm giving you aces. I'm taking pocket twos. You're 70% to win all the chips in the middle. You know, if you win, you've run good, even though you had the best hand, and your graph green line goes up by, 500, 300 chips, but actually your EV only goes up by, 180 chips. By the end of the sentence, she's asleep. Happy days. Job done. Parentalhood advice. You're welcome. Ice Cream Sauce says, I know that bankroll management depends on win rates, but what is the recommended buy-in amount a spinning a player should have? I know for cash games it's the 10, 20, 30 buy-ins usually. Not sure about spins. Thank you very much for the follow. Wolfie120. Who's afraid of the big bad Wolfie in the Twitch chat? So 20, 30 would be certainly an under estimate, let's say, for spins. As with cash games, so there's an overlap where the better your win rate in cash games, the less you would need. If you were playing, let's say, Omaha, and you had in quite tough games, you'd probably want close to 100 buy-ins or whatever. I don't know the exact numbers. And if you're playing live cash with a plus 20 EVBB win rate per 100, and it's pretty soft, you could probably get away with, you know, like 10 binds and not experience many downswings. Similar to spins, if you have a high win rate and you play low stake games, you need less of a bankroll. If you play reg speeds, you need less of a bankroll because the variance will be less as well. So typically what I suggest as starting points, if guys are newer to spins and they're not sure, you ask yourself a couple of questions. So question number one is, what am I trying to do? Do I want to play with a poker bankroll that I never have to reload? I never want to be able to reload. And then question two is, do I want to actually move down? Am I prepared to move up and down? So if you're prepared to reload, let's say you start off playing $1 games and you're like, I'm going to put $50 in. It's not quite, there's a risk that I play well and I go back, you know, I go bankrupt, but you know, it's a part-time hobby. I want to make some, you know, maybe at one point turn into an extra income, and like, okay, who cares? Like, sure, 50 binds will be fine then. If you're prepared to move up and down, you could even start with less, to be honest. You know what I mean? You could go and play $3 games, and then if you're prepared to move to $1 games, when you dip below, say 30 or something, you know, that would affect it. If though, let's say you have a poker bankroll that's separate. Here we got a win, by the way. Whilst I finish my question, ice cream result, my recommendations for you guys would be, if you are trying to play regular spins, I would say 150 binds would be where I would suggest to start with. So if you're playing $5 spins, try and have 750, and if you dip below 100, then move down. If you're playing ultras, I would add 50 to 100 on that, which sounds excessive. That's, again, dependent on a couple of things. So if you're playing $5 ultras and you have maybe 200 binds, it's pretty comfortable, I would say, assuming you're winning in the games. Of course, if you're losing, bankroll management doesn't help, but bankroll management at least helps you kind of stop losing it all, and especially if you're able to move up and down, it may be that you find the state where you start winning, and then cool. So yeah, maybe start, for most guys, depends, but yes, 200 binds for ultras, 150 binds for reg speeds, and that should be a good starting point. It's what I did at the start, and I managed to never go broke, but yeah. So why have I maximised OBS is the question. I don't know how to... Hey, we made a flush. Nice. That was lucky. Red John says, versus 8 big blinds button min raise, what your bottom from big blind to 3-bet shove? I assume they're not super balanced. 7s plus. That's a very, very good question, Red John. Red John, there will be a lovely Vimeo for the Team 6-1 guys, of which I believe you, unless it's a different Red John, which would be a very strange coincidence. Check a Vimeo, Big Blind versus Button, that we recorded earlier this year. I give very specific answers about that, and it'll blow your mind, maybe. But you are right. That is a very good. You've picked out a very good spot there to be aware of. Yeah. Thank you for the follow, Major Doof, who I think is only a minor doof, not a major doof. Pimping all the way, my friends. That's what I'd like to hear, Tim. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and bet. Kelson, do you still update caches after every game? Kelson, I've done it wrong, haven't I? I wanted to say 4,000, I'm going to say, because that's wrong. I think I won a... Ooh, Ace is good. Yeah, that's lucky. Alright, let's update as we had the requests. Kind of mind's advice or Thomas Child advice? Which would work better with a 2-year-old? I think the answer is, why choose? Why not both, huh? Lots of outs to fade here. And we do, so that's good. We'll take that all day long. It's an interesting one. We do have a sort of a backdoor straight draw. I don't know if the 10's great. It would block a lot of the auto folds. If we had a club here, like, I might think about it. Especially if we had like 9-5 with a club, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think this 10 of spades is just not going to be very good for us, so we're just going to fold there. Easy jam with ace 4. Good luck, good luck. Ran into jacks. But we're in a 5. Or a club. Or neither. Ooh. we've lost our mojo. Used to always be able to do that. I'm retiring. Oh, we can't do this anymore. Used to be able to call in cards at whim. Alright. GG, Mr. 300 Chef. Medrads, what site do you use to check your EV? So you can have PT4, you can download on Party Poke, you can download the hand histories, and they will thank you very much for the follow, Ion 2001. Aren't you glad you just gave it a follow 21 years later? We'll call it Kings. And I feel an ace is coming. No, Queen. Okay, I was thinking an ace is on its way. So yeah, oh yeah, Smederud. Use PT4. You can just or whatever you want. You can use hand to note. That'll also give you EV. You can even HM3. I think Hold'em Resource Manager. At this stack depth, I'm not going to probe this hand, and then I think we'll stick to mainly choosing a diamond or something. I think would be the best thing. Now on the river, it's an option, isn't it? I think having a 4 would be a bit funner. Blocking 2 straight draws would be fun. I think 300 Chef is definitely capable of having the balance range here. I'm not going to pro. It's easy to overprobe this. I could min bet. That would be an option. I don't think that would fold. But you definitely could think about min bet here in terms of we do have a lot of value that wants to min bet. I still think it's easy to over bluff in that spot. I may be wrong. Maybe we should just take that bluff. But I also think it's easy to over bluff in that spot. And we do have lots of non-showdown there. Especially because like the turn's a bit awkward in terms of we have some combos that we want to take, but not all combos. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, honestly. We're going for a check with the 9-7. I will catch up with chat at some point. But I have to concentrate sometimes. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. So we have a gut shot. That's good. We don't block. We unblock diamonds, clubs, and 8s. It's kind of good, kind of bad. Bad for our check raising in terms of getting more folds. 3 of clubs comes. This should probably be a donkable spot for us. But I think we should check. Now, let's think about our opponent's range. So, when they limp at 10BB, 11BB, they can have a lot of different stuff. And then a lot of stuff's going to feel pretty compelled to barrel here. Not everything, but a lot of stuff. A 6 comes, and I think that's a good card for us. I was like, oh, we have to bluff now. No, we don't. We have to value bet. I was going to bluff 1BB. I guess we should probably value bet 1BB and see if we can achieve the same. We'd have lots of... I legitimately thought we had 10-7 for some reason. And so I was like, we'd probably bluff 10-7 with this sizing. So against 300 Chef, I think he's very, very good. And so I want to actually, in most spots, let's say be balanced with my sizings. Shame we got a fold. But we'll take a big hand. We'll take 5-7 though. I think we'll call here and be flipping, which is seems pretty fair. 7. Nope. I will catch up with chat, but I literally just saw Galactic saying, no need to catch up with chat, Tom. It's not worth it, is it? Haven't we got some moderators? I thought moderators are supposed to clean up the chat, huh? Well, we'll chop it up here. Reginald said, what's the name of the video? Poker background Skype. Perfect. Reginald, send me a little Skype thing. I will send you a link to it after Twitch for the Big Blind versus Button. And that will do a much better job at answering your question than I could manage to do in a Twitch show. FM796 says, I really miss these high roller spins. Unfortunately, we can't play them in Germany anymore. That's so sad, isn't it? Thank you for letting the command bankroll correctly, Isaac. I appreciate that. And it says, more or less, how much do you plan to invest today, Tomo? You mean in terms of my buy-ins? it'll probably end up being about 10k, I would guess. Probably a bit below average estimates, if that makes sense.